Right, well, hello and welcome to another Outriders video with me, Hooch. And today I thought I'd talk about crafting briefly, just in case there was some areas of the crafting that you didn't quite get or hadn't even looked into yet and just wanted an explanation rather than working it all out for yourself. So, crafting. How do we unlock the crafting first? Well, to unlock the crafting is fairly easy. And if you've already started the game and spent any longer than a couple of hours, you should have already got it. But just in case you haven't, after the first area, Rift Town, you come to First City. And in First City, there will be a mission where you, in the main story line, where you rescue this fella, Zahidi. So when you've got Dr. Zahidi, you have unlocked crafting. Now, to get to the crafting menu, you talk to him, choose I need to upgrade my gear, and that will open the crafting menu. In my opinion, crafting is a bit misleading because you don't actually make anything, you upgrade. It's more of an upgrading menu. Okay, and to do that we're going to need these things in the bottom right hand corner. Resources. Now your scrap, that is your currency in the game. Leather. Okay, well, leather is leather, and you get that from chests, killing creatures, and disassembling armor parts. Iron, you get that from drops, chests, the nodes that you see when you're harvesting, and from disassembling weapons. Titanium, well, that is quite difficult to come by. Well, not difficult, but it's a bit rarer than the other two items. You get that from disassembling epic and legendary items, and that's the purple and the yellow ones, and drops some tougher enemies, and I've already said disassembling, and you get it out of chests at the end of expeditions and stuff. The drop pod is not really for crafting as such, that is a resource in its own for the end game, don't worry about that. And shards, you get those from disassembling items as well. So the way I get my resources and what I do with my weapons, so only what I do is, if I've decided it's something I don't want, then a purple I disassemble, mainly for the mods, but secondly, once I've got all the mods unlocked, I then disassemble those because I want the materials out of them, the titanium especially, and obviously the leather and the iron as well, but mainly the titanium. And then the blues, I sell those, and that's to try and get my scrap up, because you are going to want to buy things from the vendors every now and again, and it's nice to have the money to do so. So next up, crafting then. So first thing we've got these 5 options on the right hand side, and the first one is improve rarity. So you've got a blue shotgun, for instance, early on in the game. Now I wouldn't recommend doing this all the time, but if you've got one and it's particularly good, you like it, and you like these 3 stats here, you like to run armor pierce, healing received, and status power for whatever reason, but you wish it was an epic, well, you can then improve the rarity and make it an epic. Now the most important thing for me on this, as well as these 3 stats, is the mod. So you have got to particularly be in love with this Ruler of Leeches mod on this particular weapon. What else have we got? So livestock on that one, reloading, restores 1266 points of health. You think, oh, I can't live without that, I love this weapon. Well, if you improve the rarity, it's only going to cost 65 iron on this particular one, but it's going to give you a second mod because it's now an epic, but you only get to choose one of 3 available options, and you won't know what those options are until you improve the item. So you may get an absolute lot of rubbish in that second slot, and you're going to want to swap it out, which is why I say be in love with the first mod, because you only get to swap one mod. So there's no point in upgrading it and you're not really like the first mod and then get a second mod you don't really like. You've just wasted your titanium. I just say iron earlier, titanium 65, and that's, you don't want to be blowing your wad with that titanium particularly. So like I say, it's something you really need to fall in love with, especially in the early game. Now in the late game, you might find a god rolled blue item. So I doubt I've got one, to be honest with you. I haven't looked through. I was playing, just helping someone with the story last night, and that's why I've got so many blues and greens. So let me just see if there's anything for my build as an example. Have I got anything? Come on, this is a bad video unless we find something quick. We're going to be here forever. Let's have a look in the armour, that might be easier. Definitely nothing in max health. I wouldn't recommend that stat at all. Oh, there we go. Bob on. Okay. Now, I'm running a trickster, and these three things benefit my build immensely. Every piece of gear I look for needs to have bonus firepower, close range damage, and cooldown reduction. They're the three stats I'm looking for in any piece of armour. If it hasn't got those three, in the bin at the minute where I am in my build. So that's got all three. Now it also actually needs a good mod, and it hasn't got that as well. But let's say if it did have a mod that I really liked, that would definitely be a contender for improving the rarity. It only cost me 50 titanium. I mean, admittedly it's only a level 29, but let's pretend it was right up there on the level that we're wearing. And then I'd just swap out. If I didn't get lucky with the second option, then I'd swap that out, and I know I've got two mods that I really want, and I've got the three stats that I want. That's how improving rarity works. I hope that was clear as mud. We'll move on to the next one, raise attributes. So once again, we have got a piece of gear. We'll keep this piece. No, let's get a purple one. Let's get an epic. Let's get an epic. So we've got this epic piece of helmet here. Let's pretend these three stats are what we want. It's god tier. We want it. We're lucky to get the first mod or the second mod that we really wanted. We've swapped the second one out. So we're thinking this is the piece for me. Especially, it hasn't actually got to be god rolled, to be fair. It could just be the piece that you are using for the time being, and you really want to move up levels. And I'm thinking, right, I'm going to be using this helmet for a while. Then you can raise these three attributes. So you just go to raise attributes, and you start banging shards in here. So I don't mind spending them at the minute. I'll show you why I don't mind, just to show you. So you can bang 123 max health shards, and you see the value max health going up, and that's improving the stats. And I can improve my long range damage, and I can improve my skills life leech, and now I've maxed out those stats there at this level 41 level. So where did I get those shards from? Like I said earlier, I got them from disassembling gear. How many have I got? You'll see there's never a number there how many shards you've got. That's because if you hover over it, you have different shards for different category. So I've got 4,434 long range damage shards because I never use them because I'm playing a trickster. However, you'll see at the bottom I've only got 399 close range damage shards because I use those all the time. Now, why I'm not worried about being flippant with those and spending them is because whenever you disassemble an item, you get those, and you've spent shards on it, you will get those shards back. If you sell the item, you will not get the shards back, but the game will warn you you're about to sell an item with shards on it. So you get a little bit of a warning, basically, to say you're going to waste your shards. So as soon as I disassemble that mask, I will get those shards I've just spent returned, and I can use them on the next one. So that's raising attributes. Mod gear, I'm pretty sure we all know what mod gear is by now, but I've mentioned it before in another video, but just in case you don't, well, mod gear is you've got this gun here, but we don't really want gun shield because we don't use gun shield. Well, if that's the case, then we can choose any mod, and this took me a while to work out, any mod from tier 1, tier 2 or tier 3. I've only got one of those at the moment. I need to get more legendaries and start disassembling them. I really need to go on a legendary farm. So But we don't want gun shield, say, and we're moving on and we want to put something else in there, then we can drop any of these tier 2, tier 1 or tier 3 mods in there and swap them over. But we can only swap one. We can't swap both. So once we swap gun shield, Thirst for Blood will forever be locked on this helmet. We can swap whatever once we've swapped gun shield for something else, or whichever one we're doing, but gun shield, let's say, you can swap that in and out for as many different mods as you want, but once you've swapped one slot, the other slot will become locked for life. Now, just quickly as well, obviously we get these mods by disassembling items with that mod already on it to add to your library. And if you look at this, I've mentioned it before, this little window that we've got here next to them, the little 4-paned windows, that means that that mod is already in my library, and if I disassemble it, I will only get materials. I will not get any benefit from adding that mod. Now, while we're on the subject, let's have a little look. I know for a fact I've got a pair of legs somewhere. They're not even legs. Vein Ripper. I haven't disassembled that yet because I don't want to do that. I'm not sure that I'm going to use those legs later on or not. I'm still 50-50 on them, but I've just kept on hold of them for the time being. I don't really like the long range damage on there, but if it's the best I can do for a build that I'm going for, that's why I'm hanging on to them. But eventually I'll probably disassemble them and put that Vein Ripper in my library. Now, can we find one with a red mark on? There we go. Okay, so this pair here, if you notice on the blue blood, the twisted rounds receive 10% weapon leech. That is highlighted in red with 2 red squares on it. That means that there is no point in equipping those legs with that mod on there because I already have that mod on another item, and the mods do not stack. So you'll find, where is it? It must be on, there it is. It's already on the legs I'm already wearing. So that's why that is marked in red, and that's how you mod the gear. Now, swap variant, that's pretty cool. So I have got this submachine gun, and as you can see, firepower there, 2 bullets, which I'm not entirely sure because I don't use them, but I imagine that is probably burst fire. But I want a full auto. And you think, oh, I remember when I first got my first epic piece of gear, it was an auto rifle. It had mods that I really wanted. I thought, this is going to kick ass in this. When I was playing the story, this is probably the best weapon I've seen so far. And then when I went to fire it, it was single shot damage. I was like, what on earth? It was like a scout rifle in Destiny. I was like, but I wanted a full auto, and it took me so long before I realised that by swapping variants, I can then swap it. It's tactical as that one, so it'll be burst. If I wanted full auto for 150 iron, I can make the 3 bullets come on there, and that is a fully automatic submachine gun now. I mean, it's going to suffer a little bit. It says at the bottom, look, you see, you suffer with clip size, damage, reload, stability is better, accuracy is less, and range is less, but you know, it's a full pay and spray as opposed to a more accurate burst fire weapon. But I mean, up close, that's what you want. So that is swapping variant, that's really useful. And then level up. Okay, now again, I wouldn't recommend doing this all the way through the game if you fall in love with something. Might do it a couple of times, maybe. It's up to you. But especially in the end game, for instance, I have got, if I've got anything that's God rolled, especially with the weapons, have I got anything that I actually cannot live without? Probably not too much, to be honest with you, at the moment. But we'll take these boots. Let's say I cannot, because I'm only level 41. I cannot live without these. I'm in the end game at the moment, and I can wear gear up to level 47. So these are way, way, way behind the curve at the moment. Trying to go through the final tiers in the expeditions. or if you're just trying to get through the game and you've got something that's, you know, you're at level 26 but the gear you're wearing is at level 22. I mean, like I say, it's a bit of a waste of materials, but if the gear is good enough, then you can level this gear up. So as you can see, that's going to cost me 94 titanium. I've only got 1,300, so I can't, unless you're going to farm the stuff, which you're going to have to. I can't just be willy-nilly with it, and I can raise it up to level 47. So we'll do one level now. We'll show you. So by doing that, the armor is going to go from 4339 to 47373. Now that's a pretty big jump. We like that. But you'll notice that the bonus firepower, close range damage and cooldown reduction figures are going to change to a mystery value. So I'll just write those down. So we've got 2, 2, 3, 4, 8.67 and 5.41. So we'll level this up now. What did we get? They all stayed the same. How about that? Well, let's do it once more. Well, you can see now the price has gone up now to 117 titanium every time I do it. I'm going to waste this now. I don't mind wasting a bit. What figures did we get? We got exactly the same again. So it's just goes to show I'm talking rot. No, actually those do change sometimes, but on this occasion they have not. It might have something to do with the fact that I've raised the attributes on them fully. It might not. I'm not sure. So there we go. That is how you use the crafting menu and the 5 things you can do in there. Like I say, towards the end, it really is about farming that titanium. You can buy some from the vendor, from this vendor. I think she sells it. What have you got? Yeah, so she's offering titanium for scrap, but you only get 5 for 1,600. So again, that's why I say I get rid of my epics and disassemble them for the parts and the titanium and the mods. The blues I sell for scrap because I either buy titanium from her or I'll go through hers, like I do with all the vendors, go through her gear looking for mods that I haven't got, or something that maybe God rolled if you're really lucky, or something that just might improve your build. So I hope that helped. I hoped it was clear. It didn't feel that clear to me, to be honest with you. I did record it yesterday and it was way clearer. I felt a much better video, but I gave a little bit of misleading information at the end, so I've had to do it again. And also left a little bit out about deconstructing equipment. So anyway, if it helped, please leave a like. Likes really do help out the channel and make me feel this is worth doing. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. This is where you'll find me on Twitch. This is where you'll find me on Twitter. And until next time, ta-ra a bit.